Hello. So I'm going to be starting to do hopefully a weekly video where I just kind of ramble or talk about various things. And so for this week, I'm going to be talking about three things. I'm going to be talking about my own social media use and Facebook and Google. Um, what's happened with Richard Jackson music and R Jackson and RJ music and all that kind of stuff. And then what is going on with JacksorJacksor, which is kind of my new project and the kind of focus of a lot of these things. So, social media use. I have deactivated the vast majority of my social media accounts, and I've certainly removed basically everything from my phone. Of the entirety of Facebook. So that's Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. I have only got WhatsApp now on my phone, and of Google products like, Google and then Maps and Calendar and everything else and Photos, I only now have YouTube. So I have deactivated or reduced rather than deleted because I'm fully aware that these tools have incredible power and merit. I will probably be sharing this video through Facebook, so I'll probably be reactivating my account specifically to share it. But if you would like to get in touch with me, and first of all, I would love to hear from you, comment on this video or email me at JacksorJacksor@pm.me, I think is like the nicest way. I am also still using WhatsApp, and I'm also on Signal as well, if you would like to get in touch. So, there are obvious things about privacy and data and all that kind of awareness, and that's definitely one of the reasons for getting rid of these things. But also, it's just my own time. Like, I was spending a huge amount of time on Facebook and on Instagram, and it's just not good. Like, there's always that kind of critical point where, like, it's useful and it's a great tool, and then it becomes a problem, and I was definitely in the problematic area. So to reduce that, I decided, you know what, deactivate it. And as I think I've said, but I haven't deleted them because I will be needing them in future. So one of the most useful things is that I'm going to be moving to a new area in September, and Facebook's ability as a networking tool or a friendship tool or anything like that is, it's hard to overstate. And to be able to interact with local groups and local forums, it's at this present moment in time is hard to rival. So I definitely don't dismiss how great Facebook can be, but I was just using it not in moderation, and that is what I'm trying to help myself with doing. So the next kind of part of this video is talking about Richard Jackson music and R Jackson and RJ music and all of that kind of stuff. So I have stopped doing Richard Jackson music. Richard Jackson music is no more. I have taken down the website. The email address doesn't work anymore. All this kind of good stuff. And in general, I've tried to get rid of any accounts which are in R Jackson or RJ music. Let me know if you happen to find any, because I probably have left some, but I'd rather change them. So why is a good question to be asking yourself. So the Rich Jackson music I got rid of basically because in the future I'm not just going to be focusing on music stuff. I'm going to be focusing on a whole range of multimedia things like video and programming. I'm typically with a focus on supporting the arts, and there will obviously be a large amount of music in that. But I just wanted a clean start in general, and I wanted to go in a direction which it felt less siloed into a particular art form. And the other side of my online profiles is the majority of things were in the name of R Jackson or RJ Music. And what was really funny is how inconsistent that was across multiple platforms. I was either RJ Music or as RJ or R Jackson, and with various numbers at the end of it. And so in light of kind of like removing the shackles of a music kind of thing, I also decided it'd be good to get better homogeneity throughout digital profiles. So, just having one name that worked for all these profiles and etc. And while also giving me freedom to do whatever I wanted, which brings us neatly into JacksorJacksor, which is clearly my surname with the last letter of it replaced with the first initial of my first name, which tends to get used by like businesses as my username. So this happened with Admiral, and it happened when I was working for Bain's Music Service as well. And I've always just been quite fond of it. So JacksorJacksor, because because when I tried to set up an account on Twitter for Jacksor, I found that there was already someone, and they had, I believe, no tweets ever and very, very few followers or whatever, but I couldn't take the username, so I went with JacksorJacksor. And I have been able to use that across basically every single platform. So if you want to check out, so my website now, my website is JacksorJacksor.xyz. Any games that I make, you'll find at JacksorJacksor.itch.io. Any music I do is JacksorJacksor.bandcamp.com. My email address, JacksorJacksor@pm.me. Twitter @JacksorJacksor. LinkedIn as well, linkedin.com/in/JacksorJacksor. And Twitch, which I'm streaming on most days at 5 o'clock. I have done under twitch.tv/Jacksor888 because I decided to go with JacksorJacksor after having set up this account, and I believe I have to wait for a week and 5 days from point of recording before I can actually change this to JacksorJacksor. But this will be JacksorJacksor on Twitch. Incidentally, I really like Twitch for streaming, and it's really good because of a lack of 15-second delay, which you do get on Facebook and YouTube. So when you're streaming through those services, there'll be a 15-second delay between what you do and what the audience sees. So the chat is always a little stifled, and Twitch, it's actually instantaneous, which is way better for audience interaction. And I mean, I'm very aware that Twitch are owned by Amazon, so like I have no misgivings that I am still working, using the products of large corporations, and I don't think that's like something that we can necessarily avoid, or even necessarily should avoid. I think there should just be regulation, like self-regulation, like just not to use them too much, etc., which is definitely where I was. Anyway, so the point of this is just kind of an introduction to where I am digitally. So the majority of things that I now do under the name of JacksorJacksor. Any releases, any sort of music or projects they'll be doing, that'll be essentially the brand or the company name. And so that's about it. So if you've got anything of interest, if there's anything that you'd like to ask me about, or anything you'd like to comment on, or just to get in touch or whatever, then let me know. I'm always very, very happy to chat or explain things or whatever. So here's to the future. So I'm hoping to do this every week, just whatever, just to try and put together some kind of talk. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful bank holiday, and take care of yourselves. Okay.